Super Bowl I was held on January 15, 1967 at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. It was the first championship game between the NFL and the AFL, featuring the Green Bay Packers against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Packers, led by legendary coach Vince Lombardi, dominated the second half and won 35-10. Quarterback Bart Starr was named MVP, throwing for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tickets averaged just $12, and the game was not even a sellout. The halftime show featured university marching bands and a jetpack demonstration. Super Bowl II took place on January 14, 1968 at the Miami Orange Bowl, where the Packers once again reigned supreme. This time, they defeated the Oakland Raiders 33-14, securing their second straight championship. Bart Starr was again named MVP, and this game marked the final appearance of Vince Lombardi as Green Bay's head coach. Super Bowl III is considered one of the most significant in history. On January 12, 1969, the New York Jets, led by Joe Namath, faced the heavily favored Baltimore Colts. Before the game, Namath boldly guaranteed a victory and delivered. The Jets shocked the world with a 16-7 win, cementing the AFL's legitimacy. Namath was named MVP despite not throwing a touchdown pass. Super Bowl IV, held on January 11, 1970, saw the Kansas City Chiefs dominate the Minnesota Vikings 23-7. Quarterback Len Dawson earned MVP honors, and this game marked the final matchup before the AFL-NFL merger. Super Bowl V, played on January 17, 1971, featured the Baltimore Colts defeating the Dallas Cowboys 16-13 in a sloppy game filled with turnovers. Remarkably, Cowboys linebacker Chuck Howley was named MVP, the only time a player from a losing team has won the award. Super Bowl VI took place on January 16, 1972, with the Dallas Cowboys securing their first championship by defeating the Miami Dolphins 24-3. Quarterback Roger Staubach was named MVP, and this game remains the coldest Super Bowl on record at 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Super Bowl VII was historic as the Miami Dolphins completed the only perfect season in NFL history. On January 14, 1973, they defeated the Washington Redskins 14-7, capping off a 17-0 season. Safety Jake Scott won MVP honors. Super Bowl VIII was played on January 13, 1974 at Rice Stadium in Houston. The Dolphins won their second consecutive title, overpowering the Minnesota Vikings 24-7 behind MVP Larry Csonka's dominant rushing performance. Super Bowl IX took place on January 12, 1975 at Tulane Stadium in New Orleans. The Pittsburgh Steelers won their first ever championship, defeating the Vikings 16-6. Running back Franco Harris was named MVP. Super Bowl X, played on January 18, 1976, featured the Steelers winning back-to-back titles, beating the Dallas Cowboys 21-17. Wide receiver Lynn Swann made acrobatic catches for 161 yards and a touchdown, earning MVP honors. Super Bowl XI was held on January 9, 1977, where the Oakland Raiders won their first championship by defeating the Vikings 32-14. Wide receiver Fred Biletnikoff was named MVP. Super Bowl XII took place on January 15, 1978, with the Dallas Cowboys defeating the Denver Broncos 27-10. For the first time, co-MVPs were awarded to defensive linemen Randy White and Harvey Martin. Super Bowl XIII, played on January 21, 1979, saw the Steelers defeat the Cowboys 35-31 in a thrilling rematch. Terry Bradshaw was named MVP, throwing for 318 yards and 4 touchdowns. Super Bowl XIV, held on January 20th, 1980 at the Rose Bowl, saw the Steelers win their 4th title, beating the Los Angeles Rams 31-19. Bradshaw was once again named MVP. Super Bowl XV took place on January 25th, 1981, with the Oakland Raiders becoming the first wildcard team to win the championship, defeating the Philadelphia Eagles 27-10. Quarterback Jim Plunkett was named MVP. Super Bowl 16, played on January 24th, 1982 at the Pontiac Silverdome, saw the San Francisco 49ers win their first championship by beating the Cincinnati Bengals 26-21. Quarterback Joe Montana earned his first Super Bowl MVP award. Super Bowl 17 took place on January 30th, 1983, with the Washington Redskins defeating the Miami Dolphins 27-17. Running back John Riggins rushed for a then-record 166 yards and was named MVP. Super Bowl 18, played on January 22nd, 1984, saw the Los Angeles Raiders dominate the Redskins 38-9. Running back Marcus Allen rushed for 191 yards and was named MVP. Super Bowl Night 9 was held on January 20th, 1985, featuring a quarterback duel between Joe Montana and Dan Marino. Montana's 49ers defeated the Dolphins 38-16, and he was named MVP with 331 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Super Bowl 20 took place on January 26, 1986, with the Chicago Bears demolishing the New England Patriots 46-10. Defensive end Richard Dent won MVP honors. Super Bowl 21 was played on January 25th, 1987 at the Rose Bowl. The New York Giants defeated the Denver Broncos 39-20, with Phil Simms winning MVP after completing 22 of 25 passes. Super Bowl 22, held on January 31st, 1988, saw the Washington Redskins come back from a 10-0 deficit to crush the Broncos 42-10. Doug Williams became the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl and earned MVP honors. Super Bowl 23 took place on January 22nd, 1989, with the 49ers defeating the Bengals 20-16. Joe Montana led a legendary game-winning drive, and Jerry Rice was named MVP with 215 receiving yards. Super Bowl 24 was played on January 28th, 1990, with the 49ers dominating the Broncos 55-10, the most lopsided Super Bowl score ever. Montana was named MVP. Super Bowl 25 was held on January 27th, 1991, where the Giants edged the Buffalo Bills 20-19 after kicker Scott Norwood missed a game-winning field goal attempt. Super Bowl 26, played on January 26, 1992, saw the Redskins defeat the Bills 37-24 for their third championship. Super Bowl 27, held on January 31st, 1993, featured the Cowboys crushing the Bills 52-17, forcing a record 9 turnovers. Super Bowl 28 took place on January 30th, 1994, with the Cowboys defeating the Bills again 30-13. The Bills became the first team to lose 4 straight Super Bowls. Super Bowl 29 was played on January 29th, 1995, with the 49ers defeating the Chargers 49-26, becoming the first team to win 5 titles. Super Bowl 30 was held on January 28th, 1996, with the Dallas Cowboys defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-17. Cornerback Larry Brown was named MVP after intercepting 2 passes